back again. Today I want to talk to you guys about the differences between domination, control, as well as commanding spells. When you talk about domination spells, most of the time people don't understand that under domination workings, there's subcategories of work. And to even say domination, I don't even think that's even the right terminology to use, because there's different categories, there's different categories of manipulation workings. But just for the sake of understanding, so that every one of us can be on one accord, I'm going to use domination and I'm going to break it down into 3 subcategories. Well, the first under domination is domination. Well, domination, the way it works is that it pacifies your assailant or adversary. Basically, let's just say you're at work and you got someone that's constantly picking on you, constantly bothering you, constantly trying to work against you. What begins to happen when you do the workings in this manner is that it makes them very nice. They'll turn around and go the extra mile for you. Instead of trying to do you harm and work against you, they work with you. So basically, as you say, well, let me explain something to you also before I even move on to the next thing, because I was about to move ahead. I want to say this. The statement of every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. Well, if you do have adversaries and you're working in a manner of to have dominion over that individual, you may find those people actually coming back to you and apologizing for everything that they did wrong to you. A commanding spell, I would say it's a very hot spell in a manner that it increases your temperament and it makes you very impatient and it gives you this very robust attitude when dealing with people. When you're talking to people, you have a dominant personality which can be also intimidating in the same manner. You'll find that when you're talking to people, they just accept your point of view. When you're working with a commanding spell, you have to understand that there is a distance that you have to have with an individual. It also depends on how you're working it. Because when you're having a commanding piece on you, whether you're carrying a mojo bag or whether you have a specific ring, you have to understand those tools are what's used to manipulate the mind of your target. So you have so much distance that's keeping you open with communing with the individual. The mind is very important. That's why when you're working commanding spells, you have to have your target's attention. Commanding is different from domination. It is different from control because it's more psychological. You have to get involved with the individual. So for you guys out there purchasing your compelling oil, do as I say oil, you have to understand how to put these tools into practice. A lot of you guys out there, you're spending all this money and you think this stuff doesn't work, and it actually does. You're just not witty enough to basically see the reaction of what you're doing. Commanding spells works in a manner that it paralyzes your target's ability to refrain or resist the things you say. That's for the moment while they're present with you. But let's just say they step away. They're out of your sphere of influence. Their mind can change. So your time to seduce and reduce has to be in your circumference of influence. Well, with controlling workings, you can have a scenario where an individual tries to harm you physically and they end up hurting themselves, such as the scenario I'm going to give you now. There's this one guy I did work on because he was very abusive to his lover, and the lover wanted me to put some form of restraint on his hands. So the guy ends up trying to hit her again. The guy makes a mistake and punches a wall and shatters his whole hand. So, when we're talking about restraint, this is an example of how a control spell actually works. This form of workings is a restraint workings. It is as though you have spiritual handcuffs on that individual, you know? So, I hope this video was informative. I know it was very short, but I don't want to drown you out because I made a more elaborate video previously. So, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.